victory of the year on the line. Goff's got it. Back, looks, throws, ends up.
Yes!
Caught! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
What's up, everybody? It's another episode of D&D Mail. Thank y'all for tuning in. So, as everybody just witnessed, the Detroit Lions unfortunately just lost to the Chicago Bears. And I really can't hit the panic button just yet. I would love to sit here and, get the tapping and everything, but it's a bit premature. Like, did they lose to a bad team? No, because I kind of expected everybody, especially division rivals, to play hard. That's even why the Lions even losing to the Green Bay. I expected all of that, so I'm not really surprised. The Lion, I know a lot of people were expecting the Lions to bounce back the same way they did when they played Chicago before, but I didn't really see that this time. I knew that this wasn't going right because DJ Moore was looking like an all pro. And if anybody noticed it, I've never seen this during his entire career, but St. Brown was dropping passes. Once he started dropping passes, I was just like, yeah, this game's over with. This game's out of reach. Like it sucks. But I would love to see the Lions win, double-digit games. But, maybe next week, maybe Saturday against Denver. But, one thing I wanted to say is, I initially said, Aaron Glenn, especially after the thing talking about he's trying to figure out how to get pressure on QBs. He's still trying to figure everything out, figure out, the best way for his defense to, thrive in the NFL. And, I'm not gonna lie, I judged them. I definitely came in there like, you know what, you need to, switch roles or something because the simple fact that you saying this out loud shows that there's room for improvement. So maybe they should look elsewhere. But now that I think about it, especially after watching this game, like it wasn't really his scheme. Like his scheme would have worked if you had the players available to do it. Because you've seen a lot of times, everybody knows this. Everybody knows Justin Fields is a running quarterback. So he's not like a Tom Brady, maybe like a Will Levis type person. Like he's one of the people when the pocket collapses, he's going to take off. And the Lions have always struggled when it comes to running quarterback. So I knew that was going to be an issue. But it's like when the pocket collapsed and he was standing there, and then when he took off, everybody was surprised. I'm like, no, like this is what he does. Like he's a versatile QB. So I don't understand the surprise, and everybody's in there like, oh my God, what do we do next? Like y'all know that this guy is because Aaron Glenn can come up with anything, but it takes the players to actually come out and put forth that effort into the scheme. So it's not really on him. That's even when people lose games, people like to sit here and say, oh, it's a QB fault, it's a QB fault. Did Goff turn the ball over? Yeah, he turned the ball over. Like, but you seem like you're having like this thing. I'm not sure if it's in the code or it's just division rivals that you struggle against. But it's like when you play against teams that I started to see that you play in cold weather, he struggles a little bit more. Struggles with turnovers a lot more because even a few turnovers that he had, I was like, yeah, this about to be picked off. And sure enough, it was picked. Then even with the 4th and 23 or something like that, I have to look it up out so I can know the exact yardage. I'm like, why don't y'all just punt that? Just let that go. Like you ain't gonna make it. It's no need to try to shoot for this because it's not gonna work. Then you try to Hail Mary and then it was an interception. It's like that was pointless. That was kind of pointless. I understand taking the risk, kinda, but it's like you could have just waited and tried to, build off, get some momentum, build off of it. Then everybody was sitting here like, the momentum switched from the Lions to the Bears after Justin Fields was in the pocket and he threw the ball and they said it was a fumble when really it was an interception. I mean not interception. When it was a fumble and they called it a forward pass and Dan Campbell's like, no, that was not a forward pass, that was a fumble. And the momentum switched there. But no, the Lions never had momentum this entire game. They tied the game up, yes, but then they never maintained it. This defense is, pardon me, this defense is not good. This is why I believe that the Detroit Lions are not a Super Bowl contender right now. Because people like, Brad Holmes sucked. It wasn't addressed. how you figure. If you actually pay attention to what he did, he went after people. Brian Branch, since the first couple weeks, you really haven't heard his name as much. CJ Gardner Johnson, they ended up picking up, got injured. Granted, he might be coming back soon, but this man still got injured. Emmanuel Mosley, where Jerry Jacobs got beat off that line, he wasn't even supposed to be there because Emmanuel Mosley was supposed to have that spot, but Emmanuel Mosley got Aleem McNeil gone. Like you have to pay attention. Like only person that came up that was a quote unquote big name is Cameron Sutton. Everybody else has been injured. So when you go into the off season, you're gonna have to immediately dress the off. You want not to stress the defense because the offense is perfect. Offense is fine. You don't have to address anything with that. Everybody's fine. But what you do have to address is that defense because it's a lot of key pieces that you missing, and you have to do it. Hell, and I keep saying it through all my videos. Like I don't thank to people that watch it, but I'm also saying like when it comes to building a successful team, you have to build in the trenches first on both sides, offensive and defensively. That's why everybody's saying Penny Solis is so good because he's really one of them players where you rarely hear an issue coming from him. You might hear something every now and then, but for the most part, this man has shown that he's a capable offensive lineman. Okay, that's fine, but after depending who you got. Frank Ragnow, he wasn't available today, but you have some pieces. Now, offensive line is good, but they just got to stay healthy. But defensively, where you at? Like you try to address it, but it's like it's not clicking just yet. I'm not sure what it is. But I said that before. I was like, it's gonna take time, but we getting right now the Lions are playoff bound. And right now, if the playoffs today, you will go against the Vikings. Do I think you could beat the Vikings? Yes, especially after losing Justin Jefferson and Josh Dobbs playing, mediocre. But at the same time, this is me. This is my mindset. There's no point, none whatsoever. I feel like it would be a unsuccessful season, and part of my use of words, to go into the playoffs and get your ass bust. It's like how everybody says this is a different sport. I understand, but that's like Golden State when they went 73-9, made it to the playoffs, and then lost to LeBron. The season really doesn't matter. Like, yeah, you accomplished something that another team didn't accomplish, but you didn't win. That's like the Lions. Like, if you finally made it to the playoffs, you never made it to the playoffs in this long. You've never really won the NFC North. It's for years. And now you finally accomplished both, and then when you get into the playoffs, you lay an egg. That's in my personal opinion, that's a failure season. That's a season that's not going anywhere. So I would consider that season a loss because what are you playing for? Like you playing for what? Like content, clout, attention? Like that's what all that is. So what are you playing for? Like you have to be able to sit here and say like we made it to do something. And right now the Lions aren't showing that. So even if somebody says like, is the team better than they were last year? Yeah, of course, because you have no choice. I don't know. I take that back. I'm about to say you have no choice but to get better. But there are teams that regress. But I'm not gonna lie. Ever since Thanksgiving, and really ever since the Bucks, this team has don't get me wrong. Like I keep saying, the Lions aren't like Baltimore, Cincinnati, KC, but they also not on the other side when they're like, oh, we're the Atlanta, we're the Tampa Bays, um we're the bummy team they have right here that's like playing for we not the New England Patriots or something right now. So, the Lions are like dead in the center. And the thing is, like, that's not gonna work in this thing. So it's like you're not good, but you're also not bad. So it's like, what is it with you? So you're gonna lose the playoff teams, but beat teams that's a rebuilding. It's like, so where are you going with this? Right, like the team is moving in the right direction, but what direction are you moving in where you don't beat good teams? Hell, because the Chicago Bears are about to, in my personal opinion, I think the Chicago Bears are about to draft Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. So that's going to be something that you're going to have to contend with for the next 5, 6 years. Is this quarterback wide receiver duo? So is this something you waiting on? Like, what is it? Like this team is like Chicago. even though I hate to say it because I am a Detroit Lions fan, Chicago's going to get better. So this is the time. You pretty much have a 1 to 2 year gap before these teams start getting together. Jordan Love, I still think he is a backup, but Jordan Love beat the mess out of you in Thanksgiving. So hey, like what's happening here? Like what's going on with this team that they're not clicking just yet? But maybe they will. It's just you wait until the last couple weeks of the season to start playing this way. I feel like all them nicks and crannies, like all the bumps and mistakes and things like that should have been addressed later on. Because even the Lions had 8 penalties. They had more penalties than Chicago times two. So that needs to pick up as well. That was very, how somebody said, that was very undisciplined football. That was a lot of mental mistakes. Even Hutch coming off the line when Justin Fields was right there. It's like, come on, man. You know he's not gonna try and you step over the line and give him offsides, and then he just throws it deep. And DJ Moore, I'm just like, come on, like this can't happen. This type of things cannot happen. These things need to be addressed immediately. And in order for that team to be successful, you have to be good on both sides because you can have shootouts with teams all day. That's fine. But hey, after a while, people are going to see that, you know, this team is really one dimension. They're going to start playing you a certain way. So then you have to figure out how to get out of it. But, I do have to say something. Ever since Frank Wright from the Carolina Panthers was fired, people been talking about Ben Johnson, possibly, leaving the Detroit Lions and possibly being the head coach, if not for the Panthers, then for another team. And me personally, I don't have an issue with that. I was wanted to be upset about him, like, no, he should stay, he should stay. I don't want the same thing I said with my interview with Speak Easy, man. So shout outs to him for doing that with me. But the same thing with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, you kept changing offensive coordinator, so it was hard to really learn the scheme. I just didn't want Goff to learn a whole nother scheme. But if you're replacing Goff, then okay, go get you another coordinator. But if you're keeping Goff as your starting QB, then it's better to keep the coordinator that he has. That way that he can continue to learn from this man and improve. But if you planning on just starting over with somebody, then I can understand that. But the only issue that I'm having with Ben Johnson right now is he's trying to be too cute in the red zone. It's like, man, you have, yes, Monty is very good. So is Jameer Gibbs. I'm not saying that they're not capable players, but mix it up every now and then, man. You showing that your mix up do something, so continue to do that. You keep running them up the middle all the time. Like, what is that going to solve with you? Like, you have to do something else. And right now, you're being very like you try to be too cute in the red zone. No, don't be cute. Just win. Let's be cute as we take pictures talking about we won and have a victory Monday. Because right now, this ain't the feeling. I'm like I said, I'm not, as I said in the beginning of this video, I'm not going to hit the panic button just yet because the Lions are still winning the division. And like I said, your contender right now would be Minnesota. And Minnesota, yes, they won the game today, but Minnesota doesn't look like a contender as well. But as the Lions have shown, when you play people in the division, they struggle. So, will the Vikings end up beating the Lions in the playoffs? Is I'm right now. I kind of say one. I kind of want to say yes, but we also have to see what's going on because it's pretty much it's too close for comfort, and we're going to see what happens. So this is why I said that the Lions need to address the defensive line, go get Chase Young, go get a Montez Sweat who showed out and tackled Goff a few times for a loss today. That's why I said go get them type of people because not for the simple fact that your division rivals can't go get them, that for the fact so you can build your team and fill a lot of them holes, fill a lot of those gaps. But I guess maybe Brad Holmes sees something else or something he's going to address real big in the off season this year. So we just got to keep waiting out. I'm like I said from the beginning, I'm not going to hit the panic button just yet. But if they play the Broncos and lose, then I believe they play Dallas right after that. If they continue to have a losing streak this late into it, then I'm hitting the panic button because it's like y'all about to mess up. Man, you don't want to do that right now because teams are only getting better as y'all are regressing. picked a hell of a time to start regressing, but that's what it's looking like. But what y'all think, man? I have a comment section for a reason. Thank y'all for sticking with me. It's been a minute. Life been lifing right now. So it's been hard to get these videos going, but I'm gonna try to get some consistency going so I can drop stuff a little bit more. But I want to thank y'all for tuning in, man. Like, subscribe, like, subscribe. Thank God Almighty, like, subscribe. Peace, y'all.